Right, here we go. Okay, so today we are making mini apple cider donut muffins. Very fall. So the first thing that we are going to want to do, very simple, is just we're going to preheat our ovens to 400 degrees. So I want everyone to make sure we have our ovens preheated. So then that way by the time we have our batter ready, our oven should be good to go. Once you have your ovens preheated, just give me a quick thumbs up and we will go on. Looks like everyone's done already. Amazing. Okay, so now we need to grease our muffin tins. So for mini muffins, I have two different little mini muffin tins. And I'm just gonna take some baking spray and just spray it on here really quick so that nothing sticks. All right, perfect. And once you have your baking tins all sprayed, we can just set those aside for now. We won't need them just yet. And then once everyone has muffin tins greased, give me another thumbs up. We'll start cooking. All right, looks like everyone's ready. Great. So the first thing that we're going to do, we have to measure 1.5 cups of apple cider. So I have my big liquid measuring cup right here. I'm going to find the 1.5 cup mark. And I'm just going to pour my apple cider right up to there. So right here, I have 1.5 cups of apple cider. I'm just going to pour this measured apple cider into a small saucepan. I have one this size that I'm going to be using. So I have this on the stove and I'm just going to pour it right in there. Very simple. And then once again, everyone has their apple cider measured and in their saucepan. I see some thumbs up already. Great job. If anyone is just joining us, so far we have preheated our oven, we have greased our mini muffin tins, and we have measured 1.5 cups of apple cider and poured that into a small saucepan like this. I'm going to give everyone just a few more minutes.
So, Sophia, this is the first step, right?
This is right now, we are on step number 3. We've measured our apple cider and poured it into our saucepan.
Yep, I did it. So now what?
Give me 1 second and we'll go to the next step, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, is everyone all set? Does anyone need any more time? Are we all good? Okay, great. Looks like everyone's all good. So first, we're going to want to bring this up to a simmer. So the simmer is going to be very small little bubbles, nothing big, not a lot of smoke. So I'm going to put my heat onto medium low. Maybe I'll do medium first just to bring it to the simmer, and then we can always lower it after. So it's going to take a few minutes for it to come up to a simmer. But then once it is simmering, we'll have it sit for a little bit while we do some other stuff. So I don't want my heat too high. If you can see the flame under there, it's not super, super big. If it was really big, it would look like that. That's too high. So I have it in the middle around there. And then I'll probably, once we start to see some bubbles forming, I'll lower it a little bit as well, so that we don't get anything burning. So for now, we're going to just wait for like a minute or so. It should start to simmer quickly. I just don't want to start anything until we have that going. But next we're going to start working on dry ingredients. So if you don't have your dry ingredients out, why don't we take this time, grab your dry ingredients. We're going to need some measuring cups and measuring spoons. So if you don't have those readily available to you, we can get those out now, and we will be continuing in just a minute or so. I just want to make sure we have everyone simmering before we start measuring anything, and then we have to stop in the middle. And the way we're going to do this today, once we do have this to a simmer, we're going to let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. So instead of doing nothing for those 15 to 20 minutes, we are going to continue to get the other parts of the muffin batter ready. And what we're going to do is we're going to do pauses in between, and we'll do apple cider stirring pauses. So then that way we can make sure we're stirring our apple cider as it's cooking and nothing's burning. So we'll take a pause, stir quickly, and then go back to it until our apple cider is fully cooked to the point that we need it to be. Mine is slowly getting there. I think I'm going to have some bubbles in a few minutes. And once mine does start to simmer, I'll make sure to show you guys what that looks like, so we can see the bubble size that we're looking for. All right, I'm slowly starting to get some. I have some, you can see if you look closely around the edge, that white looking area, those are bubbles starting to form. So we should get to simmering closely. Is anyone simmering yet? Or no, not yet? No? Okay. Oh, Kristen, you're simmering? Your apple cider simmering? Okay. So what you're going to want to do, make sure you just keep it on like a medium to medium low heat, okay? Perfect. All right, I'm about to get there. Just about. I'm going to show you guys again. So you can see around the edges now, there's more bubbles forming. They're starting to come up. It's about to start simmering. Because right now, all the bubbles are just on the edges. We kind of want them everywhere. And there it starts going. The bubbles around the edges are getting a little bit bigger. I'm going to give it another few seconds before I turn the heat down. Okay, yeah, see now we've got some bigger bubbles going on. So now I'm going to turn my heat down to medium, low, so that we don't have anything boiling or overflowing. And I'm going to set a 15-minute timer. So once we all have our apple cider starting to simmer, we want a 15-minute timer. We might need a little more time, but we're gonna start with that first. So once everyone's got their apple cider simmering timer set, thumbs up, and we'll keep on going. All right, looks like everyone's ready. Does anyone need any more time? Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the dry ingredients. So I have a medium-sized bowl. The first thing we're gonna wanna measure.
Need more time.
Yo, Josh, you need more time?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready and then we'll keep going, okay?
Come look.
All good? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first dry ingredients that we're going to measure is our flour. We need 2 cups of flour. So I'm getting my big 1 cup measurement. I like to make kind of like, I like to keep a small bowl underneath so that way I can get any excess. So when I usually measure dry ingredients, I like to take a spoon and scoop it into the measuring cup instead of sticking the measuring cup right in my flour. That way I know I'm not getting too much of anything. So I'm just gonna scoop my flour in. One more. And then once I have what looks like a mountain of flour in my measuring cup, I'm going to take the back of a not sharp knife and I'm going to go back and forth so that it becomes full and it comes flat to this measuring cup. So now I just have all that excess in the bowl. I'm going to take my first cup and put it in my medium-sized mixing bowl. And then I'm just going to do the same thing one more time. Scoop our flour in. And I like doing it over this small bowl because then whatever the excess that falls in, when I scrape it off with a knife, I can just put back into my flour. Take my knife, scrape it off. Anyone that just came on, we are up to step number 5, measuring our flour first. All right, so I got my 2 cups of flour in the bowl. Now I'm going to take my excess and just put it back in my container like this. All right, that's good. So once everyone's got their flour measured, give me a thumbs up and we will keep going on to the next step. All right, I see a bunch. If you guys are done already, what you can do is just take a heat-safe spoon and just give your apple cider a small stir. Nothing crazy, just give it a little twirl. How is everyone doing on their flour? Is everyone all set? Okay, great. So now we're going to measure 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. So I have my baking powder here. My can of baking powder has a nice edge. So for this one, I'm just going to take my 1 teaspoon, scoop it in here.
Sophia, wait. I do have one question for you.
Okay.
So how many teaspoons is it again?
It's 1 and then 1/4. So you're going to use your 1 teaspoon and then your 1/4 teaspoon. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm gonna do my 1 teaspoon first. I scooped it in and I'm just gonna scrape it on that edge. So again, it's flat. I'm gonna do that, put that in the mixing bowl. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with my 1/4 teaspoon. And now that is all in there. And then just another thumbs up when everyone's got their baking powder in. Caitlin, I see you. Kristen, I see you.
So we put it in the same bowl like we did with the flour, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How we all doing? Everyone good? Mike, you need more time? Okay, whatever you need. Mike's good. Joshy,
We
I see you.
We weren't sure about this, so we pre-measured everything, so we're all
Okay,
the measurements. And you're teaching them the exact way I did, so kudos.
perfect. That was the way I was taught too.
Good, it's the right way.
Okay, looks like everyone's all good, right? Okay, great. So now we're gonna do our baking soda. So for baking soda, it's just 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm gonna use that same 1/4 teaspoon. Baking soda is a little bit harder for me to get in, so I'm just gonna do what I did before and I'm gonna pour it over my bowl and then I can put the excess back into my box after. So I poured some. I'm gonna take the knife, scrape it so it's even, and then put that in the bowl. And then once everyone's got their baking soda, everyone looks good. Okay, so before we do anything else, I just want everyone to take a sec. We're gonna do an apple cider pause. Take your spoon, just stir your apple cider a little bit. That's it. And if you can see, we've already got it reduced a little bit. So what this is doing, the way that we're cooking this, it's kind of taking a little bit of the excess water out of it and it's gonna become a little more thicker, a little more syrupy. So if you can tell, the original level of liquid in there is now a little bit less. Okay, so now that we've stirred, we're gonna go back to our dry ingredients. Now we're gonna measure 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I got my 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna do the same thing. Pour, scrape into the bowl. We're almost there. We've got 3 more spices to do. Once you're good with the salt, again, another thumbs up. Everyone's doing really great. All right, everyone all good? Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon again, and we're gonna do ground ginger.
Wait, Sophia, first, did you say ground ginger?
Ground ginger, yep,
Which is 1/4 teaspoon, right?
correct.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So again, I scooped, I'm gonna scrape the top And then that's going in too. And then once everyone's got the ginger in there, one more, we got 2 more left, almost there. All right, looks like everyone's all good. Okay.
Hold
So now
on, we still got a minute left, okay? And then I'll be ready, okay?
Did you, Enrique, do you have your ground ginger in your bowl?
Not yet.
Okay,
I'm about to now.
okay, perfect. Let me know when you're good. I'm gonna do one more stir in the meantime.
All right, Sophia, we got the ginger in.
Great.
We did it. Now what?
Now we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon again of ground nutmeg. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Oh, I got a little clump in here. My kitchen is smelling quite fabulous right now. All right, we've got the nutmeg. Then we've got one more after this. All right, everyone have their nutmeg in? Everyone looks good. I see Mike's pouring it right now. Okay, great. So now we have the last one. Now we have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon.
So
All right.
first, which cinnamon? This or this?
Is that ground cinnamon?
Ground cinnamon, yes.
Yep,
This,
you want to do that.
unlike this one, right?
You can do, as long as they're both ground cinnamon.
Oh, we're
you can
gonna do
whichever
this
you
one,
want,
right?
Enrique. As long as it's
Which
ground.
is, you said 1/2, right?
Yep, you got it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And now I'm just gonna take that knife that I used to scrape all of my measuring cups and spoons, and I'm just gonna give this a little quick stir, just to get everything slightly incorporated. Nothing crazy. All right, that's good. And now we're gonna set our dry ingredients aside for a little bit. We're gonna start working on some other stuff. I've got a minute left on my apple cider. And what we're looking for is that we want it to be reduced. It says by about a 1/2 cup. That's a little hard to gauge by just looking at it. But if you look in your pan, sometimes you can see, I don't know if you can see it on mine, there's a little bit of a ring right here. And I can tell that that's where my apple cider started, and it's below that now. So I think it's probably reduced enough. So I don't think we need to do anything more than 15 minutes. But yeah, if you look I don't know if you can really see it. It's not a great angle, but I have a ring right there and my apple cider is now below that ring. So that's showing me that it did in fact reduce a little bit. All right, so my timer just went off. I'm turning that off and I'm gonna shut
Sophia?
this off.
Is it supposed to be reduced down so there's only a half a cup left or down half a cup gone?
Let me, hold on. Oh yeah, it says it's until it's reduced till about a half of a cup left.
Oh. Okay.
So if you have a little bit more, we can always measure it before we put it in too. Again, I can't really tell based on just like looking at it. But if you have a little bit more left, we'll measure it before we add it just to make sure that we're not adding too much in. Okay, so now we're gonna get started working on our wet ingredients. So I have a stand mixer right next to me. I'm gonna use this. If you guys have like a big bowl and a hand mixer, that works too.
Sophia.
Yes, Enrique.
Sophia, I also do got one question for you. So now that we put the ground cinnamon in, what's the next step?
So we're gonna leave the dry ingredients alone for a little bit, okay?
Sure. And now,
We're gonna start working on something else.
okay, great, thanks.
So if you guys are using a stand mixer like me, you're gonna wanna have the whisk attachment set on it. If you're using a hand mixer, you're just gonna wanna make sure you have a big bowl that you're using it with it. So what we're gonna do first is measure a 1/3 cup of light brown sugar. So I'm gonna get my 1/3 cup here. And again, I'm gonna take my spoon and scoop. Into the measuring cup. And we don't need this brown sugar to be packed. You don't have to pack it into the measuring cup. Just have it be nice and fluffy. It's back. Right, so then once you have your brown sugar, you're gonna add that into your big bowl or your stand mixer. All right, and then once everyone has that ready, give me another thumbs up. I see a bunch. Oh, great job. We're gonna give it another minute just so everyone is all set. All right, looks like everyone's all good. Okay, perfect. So now we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of butter into the same bowl. So I know my butter has these little measurements on it, so I can tell where exactly. So I need 4 tablespoons, so I'm gonna cut it right on that line. And I'm gonna put that into our same bowl. So I'm adding that right in there. And then the remaining 1.5 sticks of butter, or the remaining stick of
So
butter.
Sophia, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
You said 4 tablespoons, right?
Yep.
Okay, great, thanks.
So once everyone has your butter, give me another thumbs up. I see a bunch already. Great job. I know these are a little bit of a trickier muffin to make, but I think they'll be worth it in the end. Especially to get apple cider donuts from home, basically. All right. Everyone doing okay? Does anyone need any more time? No? Okay, perfect. So now we are going to beat the butter and the sugar on.
Wait, Sophia.
Yes.
So right now we got this cutting butter out for 4 tablespoons. Where are we gonna put this? Cause that's my dad's question.
You're gonna put it in the same bowl that you put the brown sugar in.
Okay, good.
Are you using, Enrique, are you using a stand mixer like me, or are you using a hand mixer?
hand mixer?
Okay, so you're gonna wanna put it in that bowl with the sugar, and you're gonna use the hand mixer on that, okay? Perfect. Okay, so now we are going to beat these two things together. We're gonna do it on high speed. We want it to look light and fluffy. So it's gonna take a minute or so. So I'm just gonna put this up to high. And I'm just gonna quickly scrape the sides down before I keep going, because I noticed a lot of my butter shot up on the side. And then I'm gonna keep going till it's mixed fully. All right, so this is exactly what we're looking for. Show you guys. So at the bottom, you can tell the mixtures combined. It's very light in color, and I don't know if you can see through the camera, but it is very fluffy. So once it looks like that, you know you have the correct consistency. I'm just gonna scrape everything down again so it's all in the center. All right, and then once everyone has their butter and sugar beat together to the correct consistency, again, just give me a thumbs up, but take your time. I know it can take a little bit longer sometimes. I see Patty's boys got it. You guys are good. I see everyone else hard at work. Good job. Mike's all good. The Judsons are good. I see you, Joshy.
Can you show us again?
Yes, of course. Hold on. There we go. You can kind of see it.
A lot. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, well,
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
that's good, right, baby?
Yes.
Okay.
Good job. All right, I see a few people still working, so I'll give it another minute. Does anyone need any more time? All right, sounds good. Okay, great. So now we are
Well,
going to-
Sophia, so right
Yes.
now we need a little bit of more. There you go. Oh yeah. So before we move on, here's ours.
I think that looks good.
Sure, thanks. And now that we did
Perfect.
that, what are we gonna do next?
So right
What's the
now
next
we're
one?
going to we're going to take one egg and we're going to crack it into that same bowl. So I have one large egg. And to crack an egg, I don't think we've done this in a class of mine in a while. But what I like to say is it's like you're knocking on a door. You don't want to pound it so that it smushes everywhere. You don't want your knock to be so loud that the people in the house are like, oh my gosh, who is that? You just want it to be a nice tap so that the eggshells crack, and then you can take your hands and separate it. And I always like to crack it in a separate bowl just in case any shells come out, so I can take that out before adding it into the bowl. So I'm going to do my nice knock on my cutting board. And now I have my egg cracked right in the middle there. So I'm just going to take my 2 thumbs, pinch and pull. And then I'm just going to take that egg. I don't have any shell in there. And I'm going to add that into my bowl. So then once everyone's got that egg added, just give me a thumbs up. All right, so now we're going to do 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So I have my another liquid measuring cup here. I'm just going to pour 1/4 cup of the vegetable oil in. Looks good. I'm going to pour that into the stand mixer bowl.
Hi, Sophia, the internet froze for us for a while. Did you just do 1 egg or were there 2 eggs?
Just 1 egg.
Okay.
I'm going to take my vegetable oil and just pour it right in there as well. Then once everyone has that in, I see a bunch of thumbs up already. We're going to beat it again for a little bit. All right, looks like everyone's good. So we're going to put it back onto high speed, and then we want it to be pale and creamy. So it's going to get a little bit lighter in color, and it's going to have a nice creamy texture. So I'm going to put this back on to high heat or high speed. And right now everything's still kind of not together yet. So by the end, it'll be nice and creamy. All right. So if you see now, the color's almost white. It looks like what a pancake batter would look like, and it's nice and creamy and mixed together. So that's exactly what we're going for. So once everyone has reached that, just give me another thumbs up and we will keep going on. I see a bunch already. Great job.
Here's ours, Sophia.
Oh, that looks good, Enrique.
Thanks. So now what's the next step?
So is everyone all good? Does anyone need any more time? All right, I see thumbs up from everyone. Okay, great. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our dry ingredients and we're gonna put about half of that into our bowl. So if you're using a stand mixer, we don't have to use the whisk anymore. So I took my bowl off just so that it's a little bit easier. So I'm gonna take my dry ingredients and I'm just gonna eyeball. I'm gonna put about what looks like half of it in there. And then you're gonna take a spatula and you wanna fold the wet and the dry ingredients together. So we don't wanna mix it really fast. We don't wanna stir it. We're just gonna be very gentle. And I like to go around the edge of the bowl and then through the middle. So we're gonna just gently fold all of this stuff together. So I'm taking my spatula and I'm going around the edge and then I'm putting into the middle. We're gonna keep doing that until we don't see a whole bunch of flour and dry stuff anymore.
Did you already add the apple cider?
Not yet.
Okay, we didn't miss that.
So now I have less dry looking. I'm going to scrape whatever's on the side so that all gets mixed in too. Make sure there's no specks of flour. All right, I'm almost done. I had some hiding at the bottom of my bowl, but I think I've got that pretty much mixed in. So now what we have kind of looks like a little bit thicker. So that's what we got right now. So once everyone has had the first half of that dry ingredients folded in, do another thumbs up. I see a bunch. Whoever's taking on the mixing, I know it's a little bit of an arm workout. Okay, does anyone need any more time? Are we all good? Looks like everyone's all good. Okay, so now we're gonna add in that reduced apple cider. Josh, you need more time? No, you're good?
We need more time.
Okay, take your time. Let me know whenever you're good.
Hey, Sophia, are we gonna pour everything or not?
We're gonna wait 1 second. We just want everyone to catch up and then I'll let you know what we're gonna
Sure,
do, okay?
thanks. All right, sure.
What happens if the apple cider melts the butter?
If it what?
Melts the butter.
Melts like the pan?
The butter.
Oh, the butter. We'll be okay. We let it cool for a little bit. So I think we'll be all right. Let's see, Mike, how's it
Does this
look?
look like
Yes, that's perfect.
Put it, I'm made it back like that.
Great job. Okay, so now we're gonna do the apple cider. I'm gonna measure mine just to be sure that I don't add too much in. So we need about a half cup. So I'm just gonna measure out a half cup. So I'm just gonna pour from my pan into this measuring cup here. I might have a little bit more, yeah. So I had slightly more than a half cup. So we're gonna add that into our mixing bowl. So once everyone's got your apple cider added, we'll do one more thumbs up. Kristen, I see you. Patty's boys, I see you. Mike, I see you. Judson's, I see you. Enrique, I see you. Great job. How's everyone else doing? We all okay? Joshy, I see you. Mike, I see you. Caitlin, I see you. William, Corinne, I see you. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to do 1/4 cup. If you were able to get apple butter, we'll do apple butter. If not, you can always do applesauce as well. So I have my apple butter here. I'm going to do what I was doing earlier. Let me just rinse this off. The same thing I was doing with the dry ingredients. I'm just going to scoop some of this apple butter into my 4th cup measurement. And have it be level like that, and then just put that right into the bowl as well. All right, does everyone have their apple butter or apple sauce added? Looks like we got half and half right now. Take your time if you don't.
Hey Sophia, can I ask you something? Am I gonna throw this whole applesauce in there?
Say that again.
Am I gonna throw this whole applesauce in there?
You're doing 1/4 cup.
1/4 cup?
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, looks like everyone's just finishing up. All right, so then the last thing that we're gonna put in there is just the second half of our dry ingredients. So we're just gonna add these to the same bowl too. And then we're just gonna fold again until we have one mixture all together. So we're gonna do that same thing. I have a little more liquid in here, so we wanna be careful, but I'm gonna go around the edge and down the middle. We're just gonna keep doing that. This smells really good. Make sure to get everything on the edge of the bowl too. All right, I think I'm looking good. So at the end, it's a nice like tan color, I would say. It's thick and it's fluffy. So that's exactly what we're going for. I'm just gonna scrape whatever's on my spatula. All right, once everyone has their whole batter folded, one more thumbs up. Looks like everyone's doing really good, almost done. So to answer your question, if this recipe can be made with gluten-free flour with a 1-to-1 ratio, I think it'd be totally fine if you wanted to do gluten-free flour. Wheat flour might be the recipe, I think would be the same, but I don't know if the cook time would change on that. But for the gluten-free 1-to-1 ratio, you could definitely substitute that as well. All right, is everyone ready to scoop our muffins? All right, let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna take our pre-greased tins from before. We wanna bring those back out again. You can either use a tablespoon or like a normal spoon that's the size of a tablespoon. I have a little muffin scoop. I like to use this, so I'm gonna do that. I see Judson's, you got one too. So if you have those, I see Kristen's got one too. Awesome. So if you guys have a muffin scoop, you can use that. Otherwise, you just want a heaping tablespoon. Oh, I see a bunch of us have got a muffin scoop. I love that. So I have 2 pans over here for 24 muffins total. Yeah. So you're just gonna take a scoop and put it in each, just like that. So we're gonna scoop till our pans are full. And then I have a little bit left over, so I'm gonna look at the ones that maybe look like they need a little more love and add a little more batter to them. All right. So I've got. Both of my muffin tins full now. I've got 24 mini muffins. I see everyone's scooping away. Great job. All right.
Okay,
How's
so
everyone doing?
Sophia,
Yes.
right now I got all these big scoops of muffins here. Now what's the next step?
Soon, once everyone's ready, we're gonna add them into the oven. All right, I see some thumbs up. Does anyone need any more time scooping? I see some thumbs up. I see Patty and the boys are still scooping. Everyone take as much time as you need. All right, how is everyone doing? Does anyone need any more time? All right, everyone's got thumbs up. Great. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these into the oven. We're gonna be carefully putting my oven mitts on. I'm gonna put both pans in. And I'm gonna set a timer for 8 minutes. And then while those bake, we can make our cinnamon, sugar, and butter mixture that we're going to roll the muffins in once they are out of the oven. Right. So I'm gonna take, I have this kind of shallow microwave safe bowl. And we have to melt the remaining 8 tablespoons of butter. So that's a whole stick of butter. So I'm just gonna cut this stick of butter into some slices. Just because that'll help it melt a little bit quicker for us. I'm just adding those slices into that dish. And since our butter's softened, it should melt pretty quickly anyway. We might only need 30 seconds to a minute. All right. Does everyone have their butter in a dish?
So right now we're trying to do some butter in the dish now. My dad is gonna do it.
Okay, that's all right. Take your
Right now we
time.
need some more time.
That's okay. Take as much time as you need.
Excuse me. Thank you. We got this. Thanks.
For everyone that is ready, we can, if you need to, you can always stick this in the microwave. We want it to be melted. Since it's soft, like I said, I think it's gonna be pretty quick. So I'm just gonna do 30 seconds and see if that's enough. And then if we need more, we can always add more. All right, let's see. I have some pieces left, but I think if I mix it, it'll just melt itself. Yep. So for me, 30 seconds was good. If anyone needs more than that, you can always do it for another 30 seconds afterwards. All right, so I have my melted butter here. Once everyone's all ready with your melted butter, just give me a thumbs up. And we'll measure the last part. I see you, Joshy. I see Patty's boys. I see Kristen. I see Caitlin. I see the Judsons. I see Mike. I see Enrique. And I see William and Karina. Great. Okay. So we're going to get another small bowl. I'm using one this size. And we're going to measure 2/3 of a cup of sugar.
What is it again, Sophia?
2/3 of a cup of sugar.
Okay.
So that's 1/3 of a cup. We need one more. And 2/3. All right. So once everyone's got your sugar done, give me thumbs up. All right, I see a bunch of you. Great job. We're almost there, guys.
What are you doing? I noticed people are still cooking a bit.
What was that, Joshy?
I noticed people are still cooking.
I
What are
think
they
some
doing?
people are still measuring their sugar out.
Look at them.
I lost.
What color should our muffins look like? They're still pretty pale. Will they turn brown or?
I think they will stay pretty pale. Let me see. Yeah, mine are still pretty pale in color. I don't think they'll be super dark. Did you guys use the apple butter or applesauce?
We did applesauce with cinnamon.
Okay, so yeah, I think that it'll probably stay around the same color. They might get slightly golden, but they're not gonna get super, super dark. But then the cinnamon sugar on top afterwards will also probably make it look a little bit darker. All right, everyone good? Okay, so now we're gonna do 4 teaspoons of cinnamon. And we're gonna put that into the same bowl as the sugar. Nice. All right, my muffin timer went off, so I'm just gonna check on those quickly. I'm gonna use a toothpick, if I can find them. Okay, so when you test your muffins, you want them to come out. If you insert a toothpick, you want that to have a few crumbs stuck to it, but nothing crazy. So let me see. That's exactly what I got. All right, so I think mine are good. The 8 minutes was good. So I'm gonna take those out. Yeah, and mine didn't get super dark in color. They look pretty much pale. There's some like browning around the edges, but nothing crazy. Just gonna finish measuring my cinnamon. Yeah, those look good.
We're gonna put
So,
in the
Sophia, here's our muffins that we just cooked.
Those look great, Enrique.
Thank you.
Patty, did you guys have a question?
We just need 1 more minute. to-
Okay, take your time.
Ours are a bit doughy inside still,
Okay, no worries.
and a couple of the deeper ones. So I think I'm just another minute ought to do it.
Okay, perfect. All right, does everyone have all their cinnamon and sugar measured in the meantime? Okay, so we want to just quickly mix those two together. I'm just gonna use a whisk just to make a
Hey,
nice.
Sophia,
Yep.
so what is it again about the sugar and cinnamon thing?
We did 2/3 of a cup of sugar and 4 teaspoons of cinnamon.
So now what are we gonna do?
Put two more, but then when you put two.
We're mixing them together so that we make a good
Oh,
cinnamon
we gotta
sugar.
mix together, okay? Thank you so much.
All right, so you always know you have a good cinnamon sugar mixture when it looks like a light brown, but if you look closely, you can still see specks of both. So that's perfect there. All right, and how are everyone's muffins doing? I know some people need a few more minutes. I see some people are done. Okay. So for the sake of time, I will show you guys what you're gonna wanna do, but you wanna let them cool a little bit first because I don't want anyone to burn their fingers. So once your muffins, you want them to be warm, but you don't want them to be super hot to the touch. So you wanna let them sit for a little bit. And then what you're gonna do to each of them, you make sure you can see everything. So I have my butter and then I have my cinnamon sugar next to it. So once they're a little bit cooled off, you're gonna take each muffin and you're gonna roll it around in the butter. And then after you roll it around in the butter, you're gonna toss it into the cinnamon sugar. So then they look like this. So it's like we're almost making little munchkins, but they're muffin shaped instead. So then once you have those rolled like that, you can have them sit on, let me get a plate. Or if you have a wire rack, just so that they can cool completely. But when you do it when they're warm, it helps them, it helps everything stick to it a little bit better. So that's why you want them to be warm, but you want to make sure you don't burn your fingers at all when doing it. Looks like some people's aren't super hot. How is everyone doing with their muffins? Are they touchable or are they still too hot?
Ours are too hot still.
Okay. But does at least everyone have their muffins out of the oven? Okay, that's good. Does everyone have oven mitts with them? Okay, so because I want to get our picture still, but I don't want to make everyone wait until your muffins are cooled off. So if everyone wants to safely hold your muffins up in the tin with a muffin or I can't think of the word. With a pot holder, or if you want someone else to hold them and you can stand next to them, just so I can get a picture of everyone with your muffins. Okay. Give me 1 sec. Let me get myself ready too. Okay. All right, give me 1 sec. I'll count down when I'm ready to go. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Smile. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Does anyone have any questions before we sign off for the day and everyone gets to rolling their muffins soon? Or are we all good? Enrique, you have a question?
Well, I do have one question for you.
Okay.
So I already know that the muffins are ready, but it is still not yet because when we're trying to put it into the butter and the cinnamon, there's one that is about to be falling apart.
Okay, so you
So
can
that's
cook
why
them
we
for a few
decided
more
to let
minutes,
it
all
cook
right?
more. But it's okay.
Yeah, so just put them back in the oven for another minute or 2.
Who knows yet?
Did you put the whole muffin in the butter or just the top?
The whole muffin. You can do just the top if you want, whatever you guys have a preference for. You also don't have to roll them in the butter or the sugar if you don't want to. You guys can do whatever you want.
Oh, watch me first. Sorry, let me mute this.
All right, everyone all good?
Yes.
Kristen, I saw you just tried one. Was it yummy? Good? Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks again for cooking with me. You know, I always love cooking with you guys. We'll be back again next month. We're going to be doing the soup and the grilled cheese, like I said. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I see one question. What is the temperature and how long is the baking? So the temperature is 400 degrees Fahrenheit for the oven. You're going to start baking with 8 minutes. And then if you need more, you can always go up to 1 to 2 more minutes to get to 10 minutes, as long as they are cooked through in the center.
And
Yes.
Sophia, we didn't get the recipe as far as I could find. So will you resend that with the
Yes,
record?
I'll send an email out again tomorrow to everyone, and I'll make sure to attach the PDF to that as well.
Okay, great.
I have
Thanks.
a question. I
Yes?
mean, did everybody have that little thumb moving?
Oh, she does. He's looking at the thumbs up icon.
Oh,
Yeah.
people, so you know how you gave me a thumbs up? Sometimes you can give the thumbs up on Zoom too instead.
I mean,
Okay.
okay.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, Sophia. Bye,
Bye.
guys. It's been fun. Bye, Sophia. Bye.